Okay, again, welcome to the school of NPSC and NSSP, especially for the mains free course. And today I will be discussing about a topic known as the parliamentary form of government. Alright. We all know this is very easy. Most of us know what is a parliamentary form of government, but the most important things in mains is that you have to know what is the merits and demerits of a parliamentary form of government, with special references to the opposition-less government in the state of Nagaland and a strong opposition in the center. Remember this is a very tricky one. First, we will just highlight the importance, just like the basic things about what is this parliamentary form of government. Second is we will see what is just like the positive features of a parliamentary form of government. Second is we will see the demerits, the negative aspects of a parliamentary form of government, and we will also end up with opposition-less government. Is opposition-less government in Nagaland good for the people, or we will also discuss about a strong opposition in the center as of now. Okay, this is so important. As of now in India, we have a very strong oppositions. So is that good or bad for the people? We have to know this. So remember, it's a very important, it's a common important topic, and which you can expect for 50 marks. An essay can be expected, or might be 5-10 marks. You can expect this. So firstly, I will give you the basic meaning of what is this parliamentary form of government that exists in India as of now. In India, we have a parliamentary form of government which is there in the center as well as in the state of Nagaland. Almost there together. Alright, so let's see. Parliamentary form of government means it's a government, okay, where the lower house is more powerful than the upper house. In short, the lower house is more powerful than the upper house, which means the Prime Minister is more powerful than the President of India. Parliamentary form of government is a government which is responsible to the people anytime. Parliamentary form of government is a government which is responsible to the people anytime, every time, or else you're going to be removed. This is so important. Parliamentary form of government is the best form of government in the world that you will ever see, because here the ministers, just like the rulers are responsible to the people, not a dictatorship or king. No, it is a kind of government where election is held every 5 years. Parliamentary form of government is a government where the lower house, that means the Lok Sabha, is responsible to the parliament anytime, and which means responsible to the people every time. So today, parliamentary form of government is also known by another name, known as the Prime Minister. Parliamentary form of government is also known by another name, known as the Prime Minister form of government, because here the Prime Minister is the most powerful person. Remember, here the Prime Minister is the most important person in the parliamentary form of government. That's why parliamentary form of government is also known by another name, known as the Prime Minister form of government. Same, okay? Please don't confuse it. It's same. So now we will see the features of this government, or why this government is the best government. Okay, what is this parliamentary form of government? We will first see today. So the first features of a parliamentary form of government is a parliamentary form of government is nominal and real executive, which means de facto and de jure. Often asked in NPSC, what is this de facto and what is this de jure? De facto means the nominal head, the less powerful, that is the Mr. President of India. When I say de jure means the real head of the country. De jure means the real head, the real power. The power is in his hands, known as the Prime Minister. The first feature of a parliamentary form of government is nominal and real head. Nominal means the de facto. De facto means the nominal head, which means the president. And when I say de jure, which means the real executive. Alright, de jure means the real head, which means the real executive of the country, the real head of the country. Remember this. Why de jure? Why the Prime Minister is more powerful than the President? Because the Prime Minister is directly elected by the people after every 5 years. Just one thing, remember, why the Prime Minister is more powerful than the President in the parliamentary form of government? Because the Prime Minister is directly elected by the people, whereas not the President. President is indirectly elected. Just give that answer. Why the President is nominal? Because he is indirectly elected. Why the Prime Minister is known as the de jure or the real head? Because he or she is directly elected by the people every 5 years. That's why in this kind of a government, we will every time see the Prime Minister too powerful like a king. The Prime Minister is too powerful like a king in this kind of government because he is directly elected by the people. Alright, next. Next features of a parliamentary form of government is majority party rule. Majority party rules means the political party which gets majority in the elections will run the country. In short, take the example in Lok Sabha now. Our Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India, right? Because in the elections, this year elections, it was the BJP who holds a majority. So Modi is running the country. The BJP is running the country, right? Because Modi has got a majority. So that's why he's running the country. Even in Nagaland, same Rio. Nipir Rio is the Chief Minister of Nagaland, and his party, NDPP, is running the state because Rio got a majority. Even though, see, he might not get 21 out of 60, but he is in partner with the BJP, so they are running the state. So, the political party which gets majority in every elections, after every 5 years, will every time run the country, run the state. That is what we mean by majority party rules. The political party which gets majority after every 5 years, that will run the country for 5 years. And that is what we mean by democracy. And the next is collective responsibility. Collective responsibility means the ministers are every time responsible to the lower house. Collective responsibility. Please write it. This is going to be asked in NPSC. This is short. Collective responsibility means the ministers headed by the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister is responsible every time to the lower house, anytime. The ministers headed by the Chief Ministers or by the Prime Minister is only responsible to the lower house. Lower house means what? The Lok Sabha. Lower house means Lok Sabha or the State Legislative Assembly. In the state, we have a lower house which is known as the State Legislative Assembly. So anytime the minister collectively means all the ministers are collectively responsible to the lower house. Too important. What is this collective responsibility? All the ministers are collectively responsible to the lower house, which means the Lok Sabha or either in the State Legislative Assembly. So anytime they have to be responsible to the lower house, or else they are going to be removed anytime. The most important part of this parliamentary form of government is the ministers are responsible to the people, which means to the Lok Sabha, or else the opposition party. No confidence motion is going to take place. No confidence motion. Often asked in NPSC. Often asked in NPSC. What is this no confidence motion. No confidence motion means a motion which can be any time introduced by the opposition party. No confidence motion means a motion which is any time can be introduced by the opposition leader, which means Rahul Gandhi in the parliament, only in the Lok Sabha. No confidence motion can be introduced only in the lower house, which means the Lok Sabha. In the Nagaland, in the assembly, we can have a no confidence motion anytime, but who will introduce? The opposition leader. But unfortunately, in our state, as of now, we don't have an opposition party. So that's why Rio is happy, Rio is enjoying, having a good time. But no, in the parliament, you see, in the parliament of India, the winter seasons, Rahul Gandhi will anytime introduce a no confidence motion. That means a motion. That means motion means voting will take place anytime in the lower house, Lok Sabha. Voting will take place. Who have many? Yes, in the Lok Sabha we have around 550 members, so they will vote every time. And if your political party is not getting 276, now you are Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, but you are going to be removed now. You are going to be dismissed by the President of India, and automatically tonight, if Rahul Gandhi is getting 276 vote in the lower house, he will become the Prime Minister of India, even by tonight. So this is the best government. If the ruling party is not collectively responsible to the lower house, now opposition will overthrow it. Okay, so collective responsibility, please write it down, is the most important feature of a parliamentary form of government. That is why we have democracy. Collective responsibility. If it is not there, if the minister, prime minister is not responsible to the people, that means we don't have democracy. We don't have democracy. So why we are having a democracy in India? Because of this reason. Responsibility, collective responsibility. Minister, how powerful you are. But no, you are responsible to the people in the lower house by the opposition party. So you are going to be removed. If you are not responsible to the lower house, no confidence motion anytime, remember. Next is political homogeneity. Next feature is political homogeneity. Political homogeneity means the ministers are from the same party, whether it's the state or in the center. In the Parliament of India, all the ruling party, the minister should be from one party. In the state of Nagaland, the minister, the ruling party should be only from one party. That is what we mean by political homogeneity in the parliamentary form of government. But don't you think in Nagaland we have a political homogeneity as of now? No, in Nagaland we don't have political homogeneities. All the ministers, the 12 ministers are not from one party. In this condition, see, Rio was unable to cross 41 seats. He got 25, but his partner got another 12 seats. So Rio, the cabinet ministers, at least 5 ministers are from BGP. Okay, so they are running the state on the basis of consensus. Consensus means agreement and alliance and partner. So you see, political homogeneity is the rules of a parliamentary form of government. But if it's not possible, you can run on a consensus, which means a partnership, an agreement. Okay, so in Nagaland, also in the Lok Sabha, also see, Modi this time he got around only 240. He never crossed 276. So he made an alliance with GTU or some, just like from southern Indian states. So now political homogeneity you will not find even in the Parliament of India, in the center, because all the ministers are not from BGP. Some ministers are from some minor parties. Okay, just like in Nagaland, NDPP and BGP, they have a shared ministership. So political homogeneity means all the ministers are not from one party in even in the center, even in the state. But sometimes it will be okay. Most of the time, the Congress or might be the BGP or might be NDPP next time, they will have a political homogeneity. All the minister, if he gets 31, why should he share with anyone, right? So political homogeneity, remember that the minister should belong to one party. All the ministers, either in the state or in the Parliament of India. But if it's not possible, okay, run the country on the basis of consensus, which means the agreement. Secrecy. Secrecy is the next important feature of a parliamentary form of government. What is this secrecy? Secrecy means the ruling party. Okay, the ministers, all the ministers, they are going to make so many policies and schemes and contracts, right? They will never share until unless they introduce in the parliament. Not possible. Take the example, Rio is the chief minister, but no, Rio will never share his the schemes, the policy that they are going to introduce in the assembly, not to anyone, not to his wife, not to his family members. No, secrecy means you have to operate the policies of the state or the country in a very secret manner. Okay, never leg it. No, you should never leg it until unless it is introduced to the public in the parliament or in the assembly. Not possible. No, you are going to be dropped out. You are going to be suspended by your leadership. That is the prime minister or chief minister. If as a minister you try to leak the important policies that your party has made up in the meetings, no, you are going to be suspended. So never ever try to leak the policies or the important discussion which you have discussed before you introduce in the parliament or in the legislature. Alright, so your parliamentary form of government is going to operate on the principle of secrecy. Too important. Next is leadership of prime minister and chief minister. Leadership quality. Next important feature of a parliamentary form of government is leadership of prime minister and chief minister. Remember, why India is moving forward. India, before it was in the top 20, the economy of the India was in the top 20, but now it's in the top 1, the fastest developing economy in the world. Why is this possible? Because the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, the charisma, Narendra Modi, only Prime Minister to become the Prime Minister for 3 times consecutive hat-trick is Modi because of his leadership. The quality is there. Leadership of the Prime Minister is important. Or else, if we have a weak Prime Minister, no, the country will not move forward, the government will not move forward, the scheme project will not come. Yes, we will have a weak government, corruption will be in the top, no law and order in the country. That's the reason the leadership of the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister is too important in a parliamentary form of government like India. Remember in Nagaland, Rio is the Chief Minister of Nagaland, almost he is going to complete 25 years. I think around now by these days it is 22 years, right? And Rio will definitely cross 25 years. Why? Because Rio has the charisma, ability to attract the people. Yes, we all know Rio is a corrupted politicians, but no, there is something in Rio. That's the reason he is the Chief Minister of Nagaland for this too long. Yes, see in this field, in this area of technology, but there are so many criticisms, right? Checks on the government, but still he is holding it. There is something in him. That's the reason. Even though it's corrupted, but at least there is some good governance or law and order. Might be the schemes is coming and the people are happy with him. That's the reason he's the chief minister. But if we have a weak chief minister, no, law and order will break down, schemes will not come, contract will not come. See, everything will run in a failure. That's the reason the leadership of the prime minister and the chief minister is too important in the parliamentary form of government like India. That's all. Okay. And the last point is, the last important features of a parliamentary form of government is dissolution of the lower house. Dissolution of the lower house means, even though in a parliamentary form of government, you are elected for 5 years. All the MLAs, right, or Narendra Modi, the members of the parliament, are elected for 5 years only. But no, under certain conditions, the Lok Sabha can be dissolved, the state legislative assembly can be dissolved. 2017 Mains exam, there was a question in NPSC Mains. Which house is never a house of dissolution? The upper house. Upper house is never a house of dissolution. Remember this. the lower house, that means the Lok Sabha, or in Nagaland, the lower house, the state legislative assembly can be dissolved before 5 years under certain circumstances. There is two conditions where your house, the lower house, can be dissolved before 5 years. Okay. There are certain conditions where the lower house can be dissolved before 5 years. Number one, if Prime Minister Muti or Chief Minister of Nagaland Rio says that no, even though I am the Chief Minister of Nagaland, my party is only 25. My political parties, the MLAs are only 25. I want to get 31, absolute majority. Yes, I want to go for majority. So anytime Rio might resign, we will go for new elections. In these conditions, our governor can announce a midterm elections, and we can dissolve the lower house before 5 years if you want to go for a new election. Like Lok Sabha, if Modi wants to go for a new election, he might resign. Okay, he will give resignation to the president. Let's go for new elections because I want to run my country by my own party. I don't want to make an alliance with any party. I want to run my country by myself. Second is suppose there is an instability in the lower house, Lok Sabha. Suppose Rahul Gandhi is the opposition leader now, as of now, but who knows? If the no confidence motion is passed, Rahul Gandhi will become the Prime Minister tonight, right? But the President of India also knows that no, even though Rahul Gandhi has won the no confidence motion, he come to conclusions that Rahul Gandhi will also not last long. Even though Rahul Gandhi can be the Prime Minister now, but Rahul Gandhi will also not last long. In this condition, the President will say no. Instead of Rahul Gandhi becoming the Prime Minister, both of you, Modi and Rahul, you go for new elections and you try to get a maturity and run the country. So in these conditions, the lower house can be dissolved before 5 years. Under two conditions. If the Prime Minister, Chief Minister wants to go for new election. Second is, if the party tries to run away, right? And stability is there. I'm in power. See, my party is 250, but my party is 260. Minus plus, going on. So in this condition, why should we have instability in the government of India? We will go for new elections. The president was announced, we will go for new elections. So these are the two conditions where the house is going to be dissolved. So last point is, double membership. Double membership means if you want to be a minister, first get elected to either house, either to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. This is so important. If you want to be a minister, first get elected either to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. After that, you become a minister. So that is double membership. First, getting elected to the house is one membership. Becoming a minister is, again, you are a part of the political executive. Political executive means the ministers. The person who are appointed as minister are only known as political executive. This is so important. Who is this political executive? Only the ministers who are appointed by the president or by the governor of Nagaland are known as political executive. So that is one membership. Second is, first get elected either to the Lok Sabha or the state legislative assembly. That's all. That will make you the double membership. So there was a question in NPSC again. Can an outsider, without being a member of either house, can you become a minister? Yes, you can be the chief minister, the prime minister of India, or a minister in the cabinet of the union parliament or in the state legislative assembly for 6 months. 6 months. For 6 months, you can become a minister without either a member of any house, either the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, or instead the state legislative assembly or the state legislative council. You can be a minister, but within 6 months you have to get elected. So write it down, mark it. 6 months is too important. Yes, an outsider can be a minister for 6 months without a member of either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Too important from NPSC point of view. Okay, now we have discussed about the parliamentary form of government which exists in India. So now I'm going to discuss about the merits of a parliamentary form of government. Okay, we will discuss about the merits now. So see, we will discuss the merits of a parliamentary form of government. Why the parliamentary form of government is known as the best form of government? We have to know it, right? It is too important. It is too important. It is too important. So let's see. Let's see why it is known as the best form of government. Number one, the most important features of a parliamentary form of government is it is responsible to the people. You see, every 5 years. We all know, right? Election is going to be held, like an exam, like an NPSC exam or UPSC exam. Even the politicians, Modi will have election after every 5 years. If the minister is not responsible to the people, now you're going to be removed. After 5 years, people will not elect you. You might be the Prime Minister of India. You might be the Chief Minister of Nagaland. But no, this year you are going to lose the elections. This year you're going to lose the election. This year you're going to lose the election. The coming years. So that's the reason responsible government means the ministers, the government is every time responsible to the people. You might be the Prime Minister, you might be the Chief Minister, but no, if you are not responsible to the people, you are going to be removed after 5 years. That is why it is known as the best form of government. Too important in mains. You can have this kind of a essay topic, 15 marks, 20 marks. Long answer writing. Okay, why is not the best form of government? Because the ministers, the real is every time responsible to the people. That's the reason it's the best form of government. Second, alternative government. Yes. Now Modi is the Prime Minister. Now Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. Yes. Now Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister of India. But no, if Modi is unable to deliver, we have another option. Alternative government is Rahul Gandhi is every time waiting. Rahul Gandhi is every time waiting for the opportunity. If Modi is unable to deliver what he has promised to the people, or if he is not responsible to the people, again, anytime within 5 years, again, the Congress, Rahul Gandhi will anytime take over the government. So Rahul Gandhi will become the Prime Minister. So every time ready, alternative government means we don't have to go for new elections. No confidence motion will be passed and Modi will resign and Rahul Gandhi will become again the Prime Minister. So we are every time we have two types of people, right? One is now Modi is the Prime Minister, he is running the country, but no. Modi will just like Rahul Gandhi can take over if Modi is unable to deliver it. This is best feature of a parliamentary. Next is white representation. Yes, white representation means the ministers and all are from all sections of the Indian society. We have ministers from Muslim, Christians, Sikhs, Hindus, everywhere, and from every Indian states, from Maharashtra, from Jharkhand, from Rajasthan, from Bengaluru, Karnataka, from Tamil Nadu, from northeastern states. We have white representations. All of us are ministers of the Parliament of India. So this is the best form of government. Why? Because it gives representation to all the people in India, 28 states and 8 union territories. We have representation. That's why it's the best form of government. Next is prevents despotism. Prevents despotism. What is this prevents despotism? Prevent despotism means if you go to America or some African country, the kings and the president, American president is too powerful because he's not responsible to the people. No, you cannot remove the American president just like in the Parliament of India. American president is like a king. And if you go to some African country, the kings and queens are too powerful. They are not responsible to the people. They will even use force to capture. You see Pakistan, you see Burma, the king or just like the military, just like the army will rule the country. But no, in India, not possible. Not possible. If the prime minister becomes like a king, now he's going to be just like we will overthrow him through the no confidence motion and another prime minister will come from another party. So never possible to become like a king, not possible in India. That's why even though we have a prime minister, he is every time within the limits of the constitution. Every time he is responsible to the people, he works for the people, he will never work against the people. Too important. Last is harmony, means the peaceful coordination, the relationship between legislative and executive. What is that? Harmony, relationship between legislative and executive. That means the ministers. Okay, the ministers. When you become a minister, you are known as political executive. Remember this. But when you are just a member of the parliament, you are known as legislature. Member of the legislative assembly or member of the parliament. Mr. Sukumaran is a member of the parliament, so he is a part of the Indian legislature. Whereas Rajnath Singh is a minister, so he is known as a member of the political executive. So now, executive means, political executive means a small portion of the legislative. Rajnath Singh is also a part of the legislative, we all know, but among the legislature, some of the most important ones, 70 to 80% will be selected, appointed as political executive, which means the minister. So the executive is also a part of the legislature, so they have having a very good relationship, right? So they will run the country, they will make a good policy, they will work for the people in general. That's all. Why harmony relationship is true? Because the ministers are also part of the legislature, and the legislature is the one who makes the political executive. That's why there is interdependence. They are working together for the welfare of the people. So this is the best form of government you will ever find in this world. Why the parliamentary form of government is known as the best form of government? Because of this reason. First is responsible government. The prime minister, the ministers are all every time responsible to the people. Next is anytime if the prime minister becomes weak, too powerful, now he will be overthrown by the opposite party. So again, anytime available, every time available, Rahul Gandhi will become the prime minister of India. Okay. Anytime if the Modi become too powerful, his friend will run away and join Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi will become the prime minister. Next is representation, wide representation to all the people in general. In democracy, people get representation. Every section of the people get representation. Too important. And it prevents despotism. Despotism means you can never become like a king. You might be too powerful, right? Modi is too powerful, but no, Modi will never become like a king or Rio. Even though Rio is ruling the state for almost 22 years, right? Rio is the chief minister of Napoli for almost 22 years, but no, if Rio becomes like a king, he will be overthrown by his own party. The 60 MLA, the 59 MLA will run away and join other parties. So every time Rio is responsible to the people. So these are some of the merits which you have to write if you are to see. The mains question paper will be in this way. You have to support or you have to dissupport. Too important. If you are to support, give this. Merits. You are supporting parliamentary form of government. But now, which I'm going to give you is, you are going to disagree. If you are to disagree, if the question is this way, either support or criticize parliamentary form of government in a typical question like India. 20 marks, 50 marks. If you go for merits, you write this. You support it. But if you are going for demerits, if you are against this government, now I'm going to give you. Okay, now I'm going to give you the next feature. Okay, now we will see. If you are to disagree with the parliamentary form of government, give this views. Okay, if the government if the NPSC Mains in this way, why parliamentary form of government is not best form of government in a country like India? So let's see. If you are going to disagree with the parliamentary form of government, give this. Number one, instability. The first defects, the worst feature of a parliamentary form of government is instability. The government keeps on changing. See, now today Rio is the chief minister, but tomorrow who knows? DR Zilang might become the chief minister of Nagaland within 5 years. Or who knows? Narendra Modi is the prime minister of India. But no. Anytime Rahul Gandhi can become the prime minister of India. So in that conditions, we have a change of leadership, right? And when there's a change of leadership, no contributions of policy. You see, Modi has announced so many schemes, but no, that scheme is going to be cancelled. Every scheme which has been announced by Modi is going to be cancelled by Rahul Gandhi again within 5 years. So people will not be happy, and you will never work for the people in general if there is instability in the government. And it is very much possible. In India, we have gone through so many instability. Or even in Nagaland, Ziliang became the chief minister, Rio became the chief minister, Dr. Sarojale became the chief minister. In this kind of a situation, 5 years we have sent 3 chief ministers. So in Nagaland, the schemes, the project has never reached the people. So this is the worst thing about the parliamentary form of government. Instability. Chief minister will keep on changing, prime minister within 5 years. Because the constitution says that we can have another chief minister anytime or the prime minister anytime if the no confidence motion is passed. So you see, no contribution to the policy. One more thing. Government by amateurs. Another worst form of a parliamentary form of government is government by amateurs. That means what? Uneducated people runs the country. Worst things about parliamentary form of government is most of the politicians, 80% of the politicians are unqualified, uneducated, criminals. You see in Nagaland. In Nagaland Assembly, if you see the MLAs, ministers, okay, they are almost unqualified, unskillful. Worst person are the ministers and the MLAs and all. Even in the Parliament of India, same thing. Along with the Modis, most of them are unqualified. So whether we like it or not, they got elected, so they have to run the country. So I don't think uneducated people will never bring a good change, right? That's the reason. This is the worst form of government. Next is dictatorship of the cabinet. I said that you can never become like king and queen, right? In a parliamentary form of government, but no, indirectly you can become. You see Rio now. If you see Rio now, Rio is almost like a king now. There is no person above Rio. No one can go against Rio now. If you go against Rio, tomorrow you're going to be removed. I am the Home Minister of Nagaland. I am Waipata. I am Mr. Imnalo. But no, if I go against Rio, I am going to be removed because Rio is an absolute majority. Rio is in power. I have money. Rio is in power. He has money. Everything is there like Modi. Modi is in power. So dictatorship of the cabinet means the prime minister or chief minister or even the minister become too powerful in this kind of a government. When they have win the election for 2-3 times, now almost they promise so many things, but no, they every time are not responsible to the people. So who knows? These people might become like a king. Okay, these people might become like a king. So this is too important from NPSC point of view. The last thing is why parliamentary form of government is not so much good in a big country like India is that, see, if you see China is communist, right? If you go against the president, you're going to be punished. Capital punishment will be given. But in India, no. We have a parliamentary form of government in the center, in the state. Even though Modi makes a policy, if Rio said no, I will not take these schemes, I will not implement it, he can do it. So that's why the state is not moving. If you see China is growing like a technology, like a computer, okay? Fastest. Now, the China will take over America even within 30 years. Within 10-20 years, China will overtake. Why? Because there is communists. The government have a tight control of the people. But here in India, no. we have a government in the center, we have a government in the state. So in these conditions, we have two government. That means, see, even though Rio is giving, Modi is giving schemes, so many schemes and projects, no, Chief Minister said, I will not implement these schemes. So in these conditions, the policy will not last. We're not happy. Okay. So remember all this. This is too important from the NPSC point of view. Every time you came across this kind of activities, anytime. So remember all this. Okay, with this, today we will stop by here. But remember, what about Nagaland? Opposition-less government. There might be an ACF in Nagaland. Opposition-less government. Opposition-less government, which might be asked from NPSC point of view. Okay, so for opposition-less government, please remember, first is, you know what is parliamentary form of government, right? First write that. After that, come to this point, in the middle of the essay, first write parliamentary form of government. After that, come to this point, opposition-less government. What is this opposition-less government? It means in Nagaland, all the 60 MLAs are from one party. That is the ruling party. No oppositions. That means all the 60 MLAs said, no, we will run the state together. We will not go against any chief ministers. That means no one will go against Rio. So this is too dangerous. In a parliamentary form of government, if there is an opposition-less government, it is too dangerous. Why? Because Rio can be corrupted anytime. How many schemes he is bringing from India, from the center? Rio can run the state. Law and order, everything. Corruptions. No law and order. No one will complain. And in these conditions, the state will not move forward. No development, no schemes. Governance of the day is paralyzed. So there is no one to question him in the assembly. No one to check him. If you see the Parliament of India, if you go to Parliament now, we have a strong opposition. Remember this, strong opposition is healthy for democracy. Now, if something happens in India, suppose a terrorist attack or just a corruption happens, Rahul Gandhi is every time there, Congress will come too strong because Congress is an opposition. They will attack the ruling party, and that is how they can bring a change. They will check the ruling party from becoming corrupted. But in Nagaland, opposition-less government means there is no one to check the ruling party. That is the chief minister. No one can go against Rio now. See, you see, that's why everywhere the Sabaling district is the most corrupt district in India. Okay, worst performing state in India, Nagaland. Because of this reason, opposition-less government, too dangerous in democracy. No one to check the ruling party. They have become too knavish. They have become too corrupted. Because of this reason, our state is the worst performing state in India. Remember this. So, from the NPSC point of view, know what is a parliamentary form of government, the merits and demerits, and go with the opposition-less government and the strong oppositions. So with this, I hope today interests some few topics you are coming to conclusions. So these are the only types of question where you will find the NPSC Mains. Okay, if they are asking critical questions, NPSC will never ask a direct question. No, not possible. Not possible. They might ask you. The opposition-less government is a blessing or is a curse in democracy. So you have to give your own answer. Okay, if you support it, give some supporting elements. If you don't support it, criticize it, make some point. With this, yeah, best of luck. We'll see you tomorrow again, class. And I hope you study well. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.